Hi everyone, Bess McCarty, Victoria, Kansas. Welcome to the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. Today we are presenting from this book, John Maxwell's Talent is Never Enough. Each book seems to be my favorite John Maxwell book. I can't love each one enough. So today is chapter 10 called Character Protects Your Talent. And we're going to benefit from personal growth and like to get a half hour of easy personal growth in every week. We are here, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show is here every Monday through Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time at the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show Facebook group. Jeff Gamble and Brandy Pember present Monday through Friday except Wednesday when I present. We present on each of our pages, but it's always shown over into the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show Facebook group. So that's where you can find us no matter who's presenting. And you can also find 700 replays there from the last couple of years of this show. You can also find 600 other MLM leaders on that group. And you can also, when you join, you can request a free ebook of John Maxwell's. So that is our show for entrepreneurs. Our purpose is to help people grow, to educate, equip, and empower entrepreneurs and create independent servant leaders. This is our gift to the profession of entrepreneurship and also to network marketing. Because everything rises and falls on leadership, as John Maxwell says. It all depends on that. It all depends on communication and how we lead. The hardest person to lead is ourselves. The first person we need to lead is ourselves. So that's really what this chapter is about, the character part. So thank you for inviting people. Thank you for liking, sharing maybe into another Facebook group that could benefit. A Facebook group that would like this would be entrepreneurs, network marketers, people that love John Maxwell, people that love personal growth. Okay, enough inviting here. I'd like to say Benny is here, and David is here, and Dorothy. Welcome everybody. Okay, so in a nutshell, you know what we do on these shows is we study the chapters, we apply stories from our own lives, and then we share them with you. So it's really cool. Oh, I'll also mention on that Facebook group, you can also get Jeff Gamble's Cliff Notes of each of these books that we cover. So we cover about one personal growth book a month, and often it's John Maxwell. I just love him. And welcome, Willie. Glad to see you. Hey, if anybody is here and would like to develop better character and see what that does for you in your business and in your life, please type in yes, because that's what the show's about today, how to develop better character. And there's some really cool exercises at the end that John gives too. It isn't just words. He gives you actually concrete, simple, doable steps that you can use to develop better character. Okay, so in this book, Talent is Never Enough, John talks about how some people are gifted and they think that's enough and they get lazy on the other stuff. But that is a fatal mistake to any person's blossoming of any person's talent or success. So he says the other things that you need along with that, I'll just give you a rundown of the chapters real quick. Belief, passion, initiative, focus, preparation, practice, perseverance, courage, teachability, character, relationships, responsibility, and teamwork. That's 13 things. So today we're focusing on the character. Why is character the greatest threat to your talent? And how can you overcome that? Okay, I'm going to read to you this beautiful, it can't be said better, so I'm just going to read to you out of the beginning of chapter 10, Character Protects Your Talent. John Maxwell, many people with talent make into the limelight, but the ones who've neglected to develop strong character rarely stay there long. Absence of strong character eventually topples talent. Why? Because people cannot climb beyond the limitations of their character. Talented people are often tempted to take shortcuts. Character prevents that. Talented people may feel superior and expect extra privileges. Character helps them to know better. Talented people are praised for what others see them build, but character builds what's inside of them. Talented people often have the potential to be difference makers, but character makes a difference in them. Talented people are often a gift to the world, and character protects that talent so it can keep giving to the world. He tells this cool story about Dr. Wang Woo Suk. Has anybody heard of him? It was 2004 that Time published the annual list of people that mattered, and he was on them. I'll just call him Wang because it's hard to say his whole name. So it all began when he said he wanted to develop a better cow, and he became known as the first person to be able to clone a cow cell, and also a human embryo that would yield valuable stem cells to one day cure countless diseases. So it all started that he wanted to develop a superior cow. He became a veterinarian, and his talent and his drive were remarkable. And it carried him all the way to professorship of Seoul National University. And in 1999, he announced he had succeeded in cloning a dairy cow. And in 2004, he announced that he had succeeded in cloning a human embryo cell, stem cells. And, we wonder about the ethics of all this. But he had additional breakthroughs. In 2005, he was successfully cloned a dog. And he became, the nation's star, the nation's president's favorite. He was called named the title the Supreme Scientist by Korea's Ministry of Science and Technology. And he was receiving millions of dollars to aid his research. But a year later, there was a shadow that hung over this. There was an American scientist who withdrew from working with him because he said he questioned where the egg cells for the research had come from, the ethics of that. And people started investigating him. There was a show similar to 60 Minutes in Korea that kind of questioned his work. And when it all came out, they found out he had fabricated all of his stem cell research, with the exception of the dog. He really did clone a dog. But all the rest of it, they questioned where did he spend 2.6 million of the 40 that was donated to the funding. So he had all this talent. Wang Woo Suk had all this talent. But what failed him was his character. So it all was over. His career was over. John Maxwell says people are like icebergs. 15% is visible. But what's below that 15%, that would be their talent, what's what you see and what's easy to see. But below the surface and hidden is what they think that they never share with others, what they do when no one is watching, and how they react to things like terrible traffic or everyday aggravations. How do we handle failure or success? Says the greater your talent is, the more character you need underneath to keep it afloat, or to keep it from coming too top heavy, like happened with Dr. Wang. So character holds us steady no matter what the storm becomes. Character is a pedestal that depends, the foundation that governs how much weight a person can hold. And Willie says, good afternoon, Maxwell is awesome. And Benny Boyle says, yes, he wants to develop better character. Benny, thank you for being on. Benny is a star member in the MLM Millionaire Academy, our alternative and generic school for network marketers, and so is David Roeder on here. These guys are star achieving members of the MLM Millionaire Academy. I'll post a link to that later in case you'd like to check it out. We have people in there who are jumping ranks with our signature favor method developed by Jeff Gamble, and our follow-up subsequent methods that we have, as well as we teach the basic 10 core commitments that have proven decades to create the greatest success in network marketing. I think it's the best training I've ever seen in network marketing, and would love for you to check it out. We are the alternative of network marketing, I think. Network marketing is the better way, and I think we have a better way of the better way. So love for you to check it out. Thank you guys for being here. If you'd like to say a word about the school or what it's done for you, that would maybe help other people, inspire other people to check it out too. Okay, So John says in this book, Talent is Never Enough, Character Protects Your Talent, Chapter 10. Maxwell says exactly what comprises character. It's okay, we know we need character, right? That's really, real important. And there could be a lot of answers. But he's boiled it down to 4 elements, and that is self-discipline, core values, a sense of identity, and integrity. So let's explore each one. Self-discipline, John says, is the ability to do the right thing. And it reminds me of some friends of mine, this couple that I just love. They have a great marriage, great relationship. And I asked them one time, what is it that they each, I like to ask married people this, it helps them think, but also it helps me look at the qualities that are helpful to a marriage. Since I would one day like to be married again. So I'm studying and looking and learning, developing myself and all that. And what the husband said of the wife was that I always know she's going to do the right thing. I thought, wow, that's important. You know, how wonderful a foundation is that in a marriage, to know that you can count on that. And welcome, Lucy, glad to see you. And what does the right thing mean? You know, even when you don't feel like doing it, the Greek philosopher Plato said the first and best victory is to conquer self. You know, even when something else would be tempting, easier, the first and best victory is to conquer self. And John Maxwell says the hardest person to lead is ourself, right? And the first person we must lead. The greatest victories are internal ones. Oswald Sanders, in his book Spiritual Leadership, says the future is with the disciplined. So if the discipline is the ability to choose, right, to do the right thing, which ultimately is for our good and everyone's good. So it's not the short term, do what's easiest up front, you know, to feel good right away, but it has the long range view of what's best for me and the good of the whole, and what's best for the long range. That's my own personal definition of it. Sir Edmund Hillary says it's not the mountains we conquer, but ourselves, right? It's us who has to do the climbing and our nature. There was a golf legend, Bobby Jones, considered by some to be the greatest golfer. And John Maxwell got to play in the golf course where Bobby Jones played, and heard about this story. Jones started playing golf at age 5 and won his first tournament at age 6. By age 12, he was winning tournaments against adults. But there was this club older gentleman who worked in the club. He was retired from golf, but he worked in the pro shop, and he recognized his James' talent and his character issues. He had a temper. He became known as the club thrower. And he said to him, Bobby, you're good enough to win that tournament, but you'll never win until you can control that temper of yours. You miss a shot, you get upset, and then you lose. Well, Jones did master his temper and won the first U.S. Open when he was 21. And Grandpa Bart used to say, Bobby mastered golf when he was 14, but he mastered himself when he was 21. Okay, number 2, part of character is core values. What principles do we live by every day? What do we believe in? It's what we believe in, how we live. It becomes a clear beacon. He says, be sure and write these out. Here's John Wooden's list that he got from his father when he was 12. He called it the 7-Point Creed. And I like these. This was 1, be true to yourself. 2, help others. 3, make each day your masterpiece. 4, drink deeply from good books. 5, make friendships a fine art. 6, build a shelter against a rainy day. 7, pray for guidance and give thanks for your blessings every day. So that was Coach Wooden's creed, and that falls under the part about, we're talking about core values, that part of character. Swiss philosopher Henry Frederick Amiel, the man who has no inner life is a slave to his surroundings. We can be like a flame in the wind if we do not know our inner values. That's the first thing, and that goes into the number 3, the sense of identity. Be true to yourself. Know yourself. It helps to identify your emotional security. If we try to do stuff before we figure out how we are, it's not going to work. if we live with a chip on a shoulder, if we have no deep intrinsic value, if we see ourselves a victim, all this other stuff isn't going to work. Number 4 part of character is integrity. He says it's the alignment of values, thoughts, feelings, and actions. The alignment of those things, the alignment of values, thoughts, feelings, and actions. They're all the same. They're all governed by the integrity, that they're all one, not going in different directions. This makes me think of an alternative farmer that I know, a healthy farmer named Joel Salatin. He is very dedicated to the principles of working with nature, working with the animals, being kind to them, honoring their life, working with their natural nature rather than against it, using chemicals and abusive habits to raise his animals. So he lives by this. He lives by service, consistency, passion for this. He teaches it to others. He's replicating what he's doing. Whenever I listen to him on YouTube or read his books, I feel good. When I want a refreshment, I listen to Joel. Or John Maxwell. It just is so, rings true and rings good all the way through. His knowledge, his vision, his humbleness, his long-range vision, his consistency. That's my example of that integrity and it all working together. Going to sum up the rest of the chapter here. He says, character communicates consistency, communicates choices, communicates influence, and longevity. He says, don't give in to adversity. Do the right thing. Take control of your life. Now, here's the exercises that I mentioned that you can do. Not just listen to these, but actually do these exercises. He said, have you ever taken that time to identify and write down your core values? If you haven't, you need to. There's no substitute for that. Number 2, consistency. He says, are your values, thoughts, feelings, and actions all lined up? You might think of yourself as a person with integrity, but do they all line up? Do we do what we say and what we think and what we attend? Do they all line up? Then you consider yourself to have integrity. Number 3, how would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 when it comes to discipline? How can you improve in this area? It's a lifestyle to be achieved, not just one thing to do. Number 4, jot down the times in your life when you faced great adversity. List at least 10. Now note your response. In other words, how did you handle it? Did you go into paralysis, escape, avoidance, enduring, tolerating, persevere, or victory? What pattern do you see? If your responses don't show that you got better over time and stronger over time and lead more toward perseverance and victory, then this is a problem area for you. How will you learn to better handle adversity? Through teamwork, health, strengthen relationships, professional counseling. Explore the options, how you will handle adversity better next time, each time. And welcome, Sydney. Glad to see you. What we're doing, Sydney, is we're covering John Maxwell's book today. This is the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, here every Monday through Friday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Covering John Maxwell's book, Talent is Never Enough, about how character protects your talent. If y'all don't know John Maxwell, he is an incredible personal growth person to read. He's been writing books for over 40 years, has about 100 books, and each one is just rocks my world. It resonates so much with what I already know and do and have experienced, but also takes me to a new level, inspires me to think a little bigger. So here's number 5 exercise that he has for us, the final one. This is to write down the incidents, circumstances, choice, and habits that have helped to create your character. And look at how many, that's incidents, circumstances, choices, and habits. How many of these are beyond your control, and how many are the results of actions or choices you took? And that's what we want to do, the last category. Making a choice every day that will strengthen your character. Be in charge, be in choice, that you're bringing these character creating things into your life. One of them could be to do our personal growth every day. This show is where you can get food for thought and grow for lunch. That's what we call it, the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show. We cover one personal growth book a month. So Tomorrow is Chapter 11, Relationships Influence Your Talent. It'll be presented by Jeff Gamble and Brandy Pember on Jeff's page, but also shared into the MLM Lunchtime Leadership Show, where you can find Jeff's cliff notes on each book and replays of the past 700 shows. We've been doing these for over 2 years now, 2.5 years now. So we welcome you to join us. Please message if you have any questions. I'll post a link about our school who sponsors these shows, where you can get more information about our alternative school for network marketers. It's a generic school, and I love what we share. It's innovative, things I've never seen anywhere else. It's the best I've ever seen. The simplest, best, most duplicatable, easiest methods. So love to share this with you. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoy John Maxwell. Everybody take care. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.